Hi, welcome back to the podcast. Episode 166 is an interview with Erchana Murray. Erchana is running a marathon every day, making her way from the tip of mainland Australia, which is Cape York, to the toe, which is Melbourne. That's 155 consecutive marathons for a total of 6,200 kilometres to spread a very important message. Extinction is a choice. That's right. 150 consecutive marathons to be the voice for our native animals. Erchana is aiming to raise $62,000 and has added some stakes to her run. If she doesn't finish it in 6 months or less, she will be returning all donations. Now, that's some awesome confidence. I love it. I love that mindset. Now, if you are in the Melbourne area, make sure you get down to Lilydale Lake on a Tuesday evening at 6:30 p.m. to take part in Run Club. We have lots of fun with sessions designed to develop speed, strength, and improve your form. And we're a fun bunch too. We have lots of laughs, even though we're all working hard. Well, when I say we, I mean them. I'm just supervising. The first session is free. We would love to see you there. Also, don't forget to use the code Isabel Ross, all caps, no spaces, and with an O for Isabel, to get a massive 15% off at Peak Chocolate. I simply cannot recommend their products highly enough because I truly love them. I only promote things that I really love, okay? So go to their website, peakchocolate.com, and get that discount. Now, if you want quality personalised coaching, email me, Isabel, at peakendurancecoaching.com.au, and it doesn't matter what level of running you are, whether you race or don't race, we all tend to have running goals, and I would love to help you achieve your running goals. So email me. I'd love to hear from you. Also, please don't forget to rate and review the podcast. I don't get paid to do this podcast. I just really enjoy it. It's something I've always wanted to do. And seeing people enjoy what I create is payment for me. And that happens, more people get to enjoy it when you rate and review because it increases the exposure of the pod. So I really appreciate your help on that one. Enjoy my chat with Erchana and hearing all about her big challenge. Hi, Erchana, and welcome to the Peak Endurance Podcast.
Thanks for having me. How are you?
I'm very good. How about you?
Yeah, really good actually. I'm up in Brisbane at the moment and it's absolutely raining like cats and dogs. A lot of my friends are down at Splendor in the Grass and it got called off today for the weather. So it is absolutely it's no good up here at all.
No, but what's the temperature like though?
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, but it's not lovely when it's raining. That's a bit awkward.
It's not lovely, and it's I don't know. It's Queensland rain, so when it comes down all in about 10 minutes flat. So if you're caught in it, it's a bath.
Yeah. Oh well. As long as you can still get a run in, hey.
Yeah, that's I'm pretty stubborn like that.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's the most important thing. And to be honest, what's a bit of rain when you're running?
Yeah, absolutely. Just going to jump in the shower anyway. So
exactly.
It is what it is.
For my listeners who don't know you, can you tell them a bit about yourself and how you got into running?
Yeah, of course. So, I'm a 32-year-old, I guess, runner. I don't really kind of have one focused distance. I do try and, do everything: road running, trail running, hiking. I tried short distance, but it takes me 1 kilometer to warm up. So I'm terrible at it. I grew up playing soccer. So I think my core strength and like fitness came from a history of competitive soccer. I did play in the US. I played in the UK under scholarship. So I did that all my life. And when I hit my early 20s, I came back to the Yarra Valley, which is where I grew up, and was looking for something new. I wanted to move into Melbourne, as we all do, spread those wings and meet new people. So I moved to Melbourne, wasn't sure, knew I liked running, and walked across the road to Collingwood Athletics Club, to a coaching group called Vigor Fitness. And I remember that first training, we were doing 600s, and my coach Liam said, "Oh, just run with the kind of second pack and see how you feel." And I remember finishing that 600 well in front of the second pack, 20 meters out in front. And Liam, I'll never forget it, goes, "Erchana, where have you been all my life? Come and join the front pack." So I did. And I kept up with everyone and just fell in love with it instantly. And from there, that would have been 9-10 years ago now. And just my love of running evolved. And, I come from a history of team sports, and so everyone always says, "Oh, it's very lonely running," but it's not at all. You know, whether it's an actual event or if it's a club sport or it's just running with friends, it's one of the most social things you can do. It's actually how I catch up with most of my friends is let's go for a run. And yeah, that's kind of where the background of, I guess, my running probably stems from.
So you say you don't have a favorite, or you don't run particular distances or whatever, but do you have like a favorite kind of distance to run?
Yeah, I do now, the marathon. It took me years to even think about it. I remember you'd watch people do the marathon and they'd have these terrible faces and they'd just complain and, you know, they'd be walking to the finish line. And I'm like, why would anybody do that? That sounds horrible. And my coach said to me, you know, you've got the right physique for it. You've got the right stubbornness for it. You've got the right, you know, technique. So one day I did sign up for one, and absolutely I went terribly. I went out like a 5K race and, you know, got 15 Ks in and walked home. But everybody in that event, every time they saw me stop, because I stopped a lot, said, you know, keep going, or you can do this, or would offer me a gel, or would offer me water. I was like, man, this is great. The community here is amazing. So yeah, that's kind of how I fell in love with it. And then took my competitive background from the shorter distances and put it in the marathon, and ended up racing, yeah, quite competitively on the domestic scene, and yeah, even overseas in Japan and in well, not Japan, COVID called that off, but in Berlin as well.
So what was your time for your first marathon?
Oh, my first marathon that I finished, because I didn't finish my very first one, was 2 hours and 54 minutes, I think, off the top of my head.
For your first marathon?
For my first marathon, yeah.
What about that one where you were walking though? Surely
I didn't finish, to be honest with you. I got to 30 kilometers. It was Gold Coast Marathon 2018. And yeah, could not make it despite everybody helping me out.
So then, wow, 2:54. Geez, that's a bit of a nice first time.
Yeah, I mean, first finished. It was, yeah, I definitely had attempted one before that. Yeah, that was Sydney. That was a really good performance. I'd had a lot of practice by then. I got my nutrition right. I'd slowed down, I think was the most important thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And so what time did you do Berlin in?
I also didn't finish Berlin. I know this is not a good rep, but unfortunately Berlin was I was the fittest I'd been. I was actually going for a kind of more of a qualifying time. I was aiming for the low, kind of the 2:30 something mark, and was on track. And I remember it really clearly. I was hitting the splits. I was, you know, towing the line with the world's best, and got this pain through my right hip at 37 Ks, and it stopped me on the spot. Absolutely. So yeah, that was off the back. I don't know, still to this day. I got a lot of massage through it, and it went away after about a month. But it just, yeah, absolutely stopped me. And unfortunately I was shattered because it was 12 weeks of intense training. And yeah, off the back of that, that's when I flew to Tokyo. So I thought, all right, Japan's behind me. I'll fly to Tokyo. This was in March of 2020, so not that long ago. Yeah. And as the plane landed in Japan, they called off the race for COVID. So that's when I turned my attention to tip to toe after two back-to-back, terrible elite marathon.
Talking to you, wasn't it?
The universe was. Not to say I haven't finished marathons. I've definitely had some crackers. But yeah, the last two before tip to toe were absolute wipeouts.
So are you planning on, you know, trying to qualify again?
I don't know. I'm 32. And if you know our key amazing female powerhouses, Lisa Waitman, Sinead Diver, they're in their 40s and they are kicking goals. So absolutely, I haven't written it off. But I don't know. I don't know what doors will open with tip to toe. I might fall in love with the trail scene and do ultras. I'm actually doing the Guzzler.
Oh, this weekend.
Tomorrow. Yeah. I just got my bib. So
yeah, one of my athletes is doing that. Yeah.
Which event?
The 50.
The 50? Cool.
What are you doing?
Yep. The 50. I'll see.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I'll see him I'll see
Fiona. Yep. Look out.
Fiona. All right. I'll keep an eye out. I'll give her a wave.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. Well, now you've mentioned tip to toe. Do you want to tell the listeners what you're talking about?
Yeah, of course. So tip to toe, before it was tip to toe, has been a lifelong dream. And it kind of culminated in COVID when all racing stopped, all competitive road racing, which was my background. And essentially what it is running from the very top of Australia to the very bottom. And it's a long way. My original plan was there's a guy called Richard Bowles, and he ran the Bicentennial Rail Trail in 2012, and I've always been in awe of that. It's a non-motorized single like rail track from Cooktown, Queensland, 5,330 k's to Hillsville. And I thought, wow, no female has done that. Only Richards ran it. Can definitely cycle it.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, if you're starting in Cooktown and you go to Hillsville, why not do the whole thing? Like, what's an extra 600 or 700 kilometers? And that's where it stemmed from. And then at the same time, very fortunate for me, I met my partner, and he's a filmmaker, and he's also almost he's on my level of go-getter, and maybe even a little bit more. And he said, you need to do this now before life keeps throwing things in the way, because the longer you push this out, life will keep throwing things in between now and then. And so, I packed up, I quit my job, and here we are 4 weeks later.
You quit your job. I was wondering how you were going to fit it in with work.
No, I didn't.
Can I ask, are you normally a teacher simply because of the cup? I got a few of those cups when I was teaching primary school. So
no, I'm at my in-laws house, and she is a very good teacher.
Okay.
So this is probably her mug. I can't claim this. No, I'm a nutritionist.
Okay.
But I was
a teacher of sorts.
I teach nutritional practice and food science.
That's right. All right. So wow. Okay, that's a big commitment to you couldn't just take leave without pay or a sabbatical.
They did offer me a sabbatical, yes, to their credit. But I decided, I had been there a long time. I decided to take this as an opportunity to see what was next. And I think that it's exciting sometimes throwing yourself in the deep end.
You know what? And I think sometimes life is short, and I'm always saying this, life is short, and you just got to go for it sometimes, and just see what happens.
Yeah, because if I was going back to something that I knew, I wouldn't say yes to something I don't know. And I like the unknown. I think there's so much potential in the unknown. This whole run is unknown, really. I don't really know what to expect.
Have you ever done any multi-day run before?
I've not officially, but I definitely have done my own. I choose places like Wilson's Prom, and I'll just go out with a friend or solo. I'm a bit crazy like that. I will just fly up to Port Douglas and run for 4 days and not tell anyone where I am and get back on a flight. I'm getting better just because I'm getting a little berated by my family. But definitely is in my personality to just jump straight in.
Good for you. That's an awesome way to be. Now you are raising money with this run. Do you want to tell the listeners a bit about this as well?
Yep, of course. So we are trying to raise $1 for every kilometre that I run on tip to toe. So ideally that will be $62,000. I chose the Wilderness Society firstly because they're an incredible organisation doing big things for environmental advocacy, and that is definitely my cause. I grew up in the Yarra Valley, and I used to share the trails with all these incredible animals, and it would be loud, and you'd come back dirty and kind of sweaty, but a massive smile on your face. And I go back now as a 32-year-old, and it's just a little bit quieter. You're not really seeing as many animals. You just notice the difference, particularly from the bird front as well. And so I just looked into it a little bit more, and the extinction rate in Australia, we have these iconic animals, like globally significant animals, yet we are world leaders in biodiversity loss. So there's almost 500 animals, native Australian animals, on the endangered list, including one more was added last week, the greater glider. And if we don't do anything now, we're not going to have these animals around for future generations. And it would just be such a shame, because it's just part of the trails that I share with. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're raising money for the Wilderness Society, not just money, but awareness as well. We just want to share the message that extinction is an extinction crisis, and it's a choice that we're making to save these animals, and we just need to make sure we're making the right one.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was going to ask that if you've always been interested in environmental advocacy. So obviously.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I've always been very much into protecting our national parks. And mostly it's selfish as well, because not only do we need them for the future of our planet, but my mental health depends on me getting out into the bush. So, it comes from both ways.
Yeah, no, and I'm sure many of the listeners will be on board with that and agree with you there too. So $1 for every kilometre. So you're trying to raise $62,000. How is that going?
It's going well. We're at about, I haven't even started yet. So I fully appreciate everyone that's supporting, just even the concept of me doing this. So we're at about $2,500 now. We have a GoFundMe page with all the money there going to the Wilderness Society at the end, because obviously we don't want to put a ceiling on it. We haven't really kickstarted the campaign yet for the fundraising. I was half waiting until we get out there on course, just so it's a bit more impactful. But yeah, the support's been astronomical, and I'm very humbled by everyone.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, what I'll do is I'll put the link to the page, the GoFundMe page, in the show notes.
Oh, thank you. I very much appreciate that.
Yeah, because I'm sure there'll be people listening that really want to help and want to support you. You've also said that if you don't complete the run in the 6 months, you'll return all donations.
Yeah, very risky one. Hey,
that's very gutsy.
But you know what? This is a very difficult challenge. And at the end of the day, when I wake up in the morning, I know that if I don't run, the funds won't go to the Wilderness Society. And that's my biggest motivation. So I back myself, and it's almost saying, you've really got to back yourself, because to be honest, I'm 100% confident I'm going to make it to that finish line. I've given myself plenty of time based on what we're trying to do. And I just want that motivation to go, you've got to do it. And everyone loves an underdog story. It's me versus the clock, and, the clock is not going to stop. So I can't stop either.
So you're doing a marathon a day.
Mm-hmm.
So, and, as part of you continuing, and getting it done, how are you going to deal with niggles or I don't want to say the other word, but any little niggles that might come up?
Yeah, absolutely. So I do have an incredible physio, David McNeil. He's our 5K Olympian. He is on board as on call at all times to help out. And I'm just going to be careful. I'm luckily, touch wood, I'm very injury resilient. I mean, in a decade of running, I haven't had a stress fracture. I haven't actually had an injury besides a small plantar fasciitis when I first started and didn't know what I was doing. Yeah. So I think I'm going to lean on my own background, which is, I've got a diploma of fitness. I was a personal trainer for 3 or 4 years. I've got a, nutrition background, and just lean on my experience, lean on Dave. My coach is a remedial therapist, and lean on everyone around me.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, like you said, you've got a nutrition background. So obviously food is really important in your, in this run. What is your plan for your food while you're running, and like for recovery and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, great question. I'm going to be consuming need to consume about 5,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
So right up there. And this will change because there's actually a young guy, sorry, I can't remember his name, but he once did an unsupported run from Canberra to the tip of Australia. And we spoke, he gave me some advice, and I asked him the same question, and he said to me, and remember, he was unsupported. Yeah. He goes, man, all I could do was run to the next roadhouse and eat a meat pie. So he lived the entire thing off meat pies.
Oh my God.
And I thought, oh no. So that got me thinking. And luckily I do have, Trackabout campers are thankfully donating an off-road camper. So I will have a full setup for kitchen and food. So I'm going to be hopefully making a lot of fried rice, a lot of, meat goring, a lot of camping style meals, just lots of carbohydrates, balanced proteins, and eat as much as I can. And with the 42K a day, I can stop. I don't have to go from start to finish. So I can, run 12 kilometers and have a piece of toast with peanut butter, and then run 12 kilometers and have a burrito. So I'm going to overconsume as best I can.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a big believer myself in the best recovery methods being food, sleep, hydration, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing, well, you've got the food and the hydration, because I'm sure you've got that nailed too. And I'm guessing you're going to be prioritizing sleep as a recovery as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 42 kilometers a day, ideally if I'm starting in the morning, I'll be done by lunchtime.
Yeah.
So my whole afternoon, I've got books. I've downloaded about 100 movies. It'll be very relaxed.
That sounds great. It sounds like it'll be fun as well. And so who is your support crew?
Yeah, great question. So when I first raised this to my family, my dad is a very keen camper, and he's never been to the tip. So they're actually going to come for that first little bit from the north, from Cape York right down to I think they're going to come to Cooktown. So for about 2 or 4 weeks. Dad's a mechanic, and I think he's a little worried that sending me up there with a 4-wheel drive that may or may not break down, I'll never come home.
Yeah.
So I've got actually my family for the first bit. My partner is going to come the entire way. He is a filmmaker and is going to be driving the vehicle, probably cooking that fried rice I was talking about, and just helping out for moral support. We've got a bike, so we'll have someone hopefully riding with. And then the support for running has been unbelievably great. I've had so many people reach out through media encounters that I've had, or word on the street, or my, running club. And so I don't think there's actually going to be much of it where I won't have someone coming to run.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah.
And one of the key things I've said to everyone is, please come out, because this is a shared experience, and it doesn't have, I'm not running fast. We can walk, we can slow down, we can speed up. And so
because you've got all day to do the run.
Got all day. And so I'm packing extra tents, and extra sleeping bags, and mats for the floor. So if anyone does want to come out, please reach out. We have heaps of space. We have facilities. We have a kitchen. We don't have a shower, but that's okay. We'll be friendly. And come and join.
That sounds awesome. Are you planning any rest days?
Not until the world record I'm trying to achieve is 100. So it's currently 94 consecutive marathons. I do know in the background an American lady has beaten that. It just hasn't been validated by Guinness World Records. I'm assuming there'll be no problems. So I'm going to aim for that. And that's 105. So at least until then, I'm not aiming on a rest day.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah. And what shoes are you using?
Great question. I've actually been sponsored by Tarkine. So Tarkine are completely aligned with what I'm doing. They're a small Western Australian startup that use recycled materials with 2%, or 5%, I should fact check that, of the money going back to the protecting the Tarkine Tacania forest in Tasmania. I've been wearing them for about 6 months now in preparation, and they've been great. They're very, very good shoe. So yeah, that's what I'll be wearing.
Awesome. How many do you reckon you'll go through?
I've already gone through about 3 just in the lead up. I've been given 10 pairs. I don't think I need more than that, but I will let you know if I do.
Yeah. We'll have to do a follow-up interview.
Sorry?
We'll have to do a follow-up interview and see how everything panned out.
Depends on how much I wear them past their use-by date,
Yes, yeah, that's right. Yeah. And I mean, I'm guessing you'll kind of rotate them.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I'll probably wear one on a Monday, one on a Tuesday, one on a Wednesday. It's the best way. And shoe overuse injuries are the first thing that will write me off. So
yes,
I'm
exactly
very careful about that.
Yeah. No, totally. Are you anticipating some challenges along the way? I'm sure there will be, but what are you sort of putting in place to help you deal with any challenges along the way?
Yeah. Not much at the moment, because we're expecting all the challenges in the world. And this is a funny conversation I have with my partner all the time, because he has a film camera. And for example, if I run into a cassowary that looks slightly aggressive, or, something goes wrong, and he goes, all right, well, what's my priority? Am I going to get it for the film, or am I going to help you?
It's got to film it. The priority is filming it.
So he goes, he's already said, he's worded me up and goes, I'm sorry, but if you're a little bit upset, that's what we need. People want to see that.
Exactly.
I thought, I didn't even think of that. So we are expecting hurdles, but we just don't know what they'll be. I think top of that list will be mechanical with the car. Floods. It's been very floody, so we might get landlocked. We have some plans for that. It's just weather. It's been a funny couple of years with weather.
Yeah. Now, your partner and you're going to be in a little van for 6 months, 24/7.
Will we make it through?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you will, but you know, do you have any, because sometimes you do need that little bit of time, whatever. Do you have any plans for that? Time alone, I mean.
We don't, but you know what? we can survive Melbourne's lockdown. Yeah,
true.
Any couple out there in Melbourne who survived 2020 and 2021 will live forever.
I kind of agree with you with that one. If you survived that, yeah, totally. It was really good training for this, wasn't it?
Exactly. What's the difference between my tiny Brunswick apartment? In fact, there's actually more room in the Trackabout camper than there was in my last place.
Yeah. I know the feeling. Don't worry. Yeah. So, well, that's great. I mean, and I don't imagine that there would be any issues, but it would have to be something that you'd have to think about, I'm sure.
Yeah, we're one of those. We are very close in terms of what we do. You know, we've been working on this project collectively for 3 to 6, maybe longer, almost a year. So we are very much used to working in each other's space. So I think we should be okay. If not, he can fly in, fly out if need be. We haven't had that chat yet, but he's not trying to break the record, so he's allowed to leave if he needs to.
Yeah, no, but he's got to film it.
Exactly. You might miss something exciting.
So what are you planning on doing with the film? Like, what is the plan?
So it depends on the finished product, I guess. We'll definitely submit it to, your touring film, adventure film festivals. Banff would be incredible. Guts, we're going to Guts of Girls, which is touring through Brisbane. It's here on Wednesday. So we're going to go and see that, get some inspiration. And then probably honestly after that, just release it for our own, for general viewing. We're not planning on commercializing it. It's more just to share the experience with what we're doing with the world, because not many people get to see this much of Australia. I never have, and it's a really beautiful country, and I really want to showcase it to the world.
Yeah, no, and I think that'll be great, and definitely good for something like Gutsy Girls and showcasing what women can do and are capable of. So
absolutely. I mean, there's been some incredible. I know you had Sean Bell on the podcast, absolute powerhouse. There's and Lockie Sparks is currently running to Cairns for mental health, and Ned Brockman's going to try. And so there's a lot of guys out there in this last 3 years doing this incredible feats. But from my knowledge, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's not as many females. So it feels good to throw one in for the women.
Yep. No, I totally agree. With that. And so back to sort of dealing with the day-to-day issues. So do you have someone to give you massage? Did you say that?
I don't have someone with me always, but I've been given that I've got a lot of connections in a lot of cities. So if need be, I will stop in cities and get remedial massage. Yeah. I've got a Theragun. So that should be fine. And I'm going to give anyone that does come and support run a lesson on massage. No, I'm just kidding.
That's they should, seriously.
and self-massage as well. I've got a lot of self-massage techniques, particularly around the stabilizing muscles, the Achilles, your calves and your hips. So I think if need be, we've got some budget aside purely for remedial massage in towns.
Yeah. And what about, because you're running through a variety of states, what are the different, did you have to get permission? What's the legal logistics of it all?
Yeah, no, it's all open at the moment. We have been asking permission to pass through Indigenous traditional land, with particularly up north.
I guess what I meant more rather than permission, and sorry, and that's fair, I hadn't even thought of that, but more Do they have different rules, like of what you have to do?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they absolutely do. So most of the way through, if you're running on a freeway, you have to have a vehicle in say Victoria is one. You have to have a vehicle behind you at all times, and you have to have a vest on. I'm not going anywhere near roads, so I'm just back out on the Bicentennial Rail Trail. So for me, it's going to be an extra.
You're not going on any roads.
If maybe in a town, but
Yeah.
99% no, with just for safety.
Okay. Yeah.
And also this Australia that we want to show off, it's not on the main roads, it's the back roads. So I've added over 2,000 Ks to the route just to see a bit more of a, a back end of Australia. And I may regret that when I'm 4,000 Ks in and could be finished. But at this point, the plan is to stick as far remote as possible.
Oh, that's going to be great. And that'll be better for the film too, I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah. And I don't like running on roads anyway. I don't like the cars, not for safety, just the noise and we're doing this for the
fumes.
For fumes. And like, we're doing this for the animals in the national parks. So to not show those off would almost feel out of place, I think.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. So if people want to follow you, will you have like a tracker on you?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're about to put that into the website. And I won't have the tracker on Instagram, but I'll be giving daily updates on where we are. Mostly so if people do want to come and run or just see what we're up to, they can come and join. I'll have kind of a live feed. And you can always just assume the next day I'll be 42.2 Ks further. So that's the plan.
And how are you measuring the distances? Just with your standard GPS watch, or do you have something else?
Yep. I'm going to be wearing two watches because I don't want to risk not getting the record.
I agree.
Runs out of battery.
Absolutely.
Imagine missing out on a technicality or like a watch malfunction. I'd be devastated. So to be honest with you, I might even also have it on my phone.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Yeah, I would probably be the same. Yeah,
that's the plan.
Now, if people want to follow you on social media and that sort of stuff, how do they do that?
Yeah, so Instagram is the main one. I haven't quite wrapped my head around TikTok yet. It's more me, not everyone else. But Instagram is tip_2_toe_2022. So tip to toe 2022. Same as the website, and it's all kind of laid out there. But yeah, absolutely would love everyone's support because this is going to be a really wild run, and not just support on socials, but I mean, call me, say hello, donate to the Wilderness Society, come and run or walk, be involved in any way. It's a very inclusive project.
Yeah, no, it sounds like it. And all right, so I'll put those links up on the show notes as well as where people can donate. I just had a question in my head and it's just gone. I should have written.
I'll be running through Boronia. You can come and do the last.
Oh, will you really? Yes. Well, that's what I was going to say. What date do you start and what's the finish date plan?
August 20. I don't have a finish date yet because I don't know exactly when I'll be home.
Yeah. So you're running through Boronia. Why is that?
Oh, I just probably will. I'll be coming, like, I've looked at the way I come home and it's because it's all bush out there back in or behind you. Like, it might not be exactly Boronia,
but it'll be pretty close. Yeah.
What's that mountain behind you? I know the name of
Mount Dandenong.
That's it. Dandenong. So we're going over Mount Dandenong. So
you're going to go over. Wow, you're keen. Okay.
We're going over so many mountains. We're going over almost over the entire Great Putting Range.
Oh, wow.
So I'm still umming and ahhing whether I do that. But if I do want to stick to the rail trail, I will be. So it's exciting.
So have you plotted it on a map? Do you know what the elevation will be?
Oh, I haven't done the calculation. Surely it's going to be whopping though. Because
I'd be interested to know. It's going to
be. Yeah. Because no, I'll definitely look at that up.
Yeah.
I just haven't thought about that. To be honest, my entire focus right now is on the Cape Peninsula because it's so unknown to me. I mean, I grew up in Victoria. I'm used to the hills, but those long deserts, kind of no mobile reception, 100 kilometers between towns, that's different. And so, I think I'm going to feel like I've very much accomplished something just by getting to Brisbane, doing that first half of the country, which seems so remote and foreign to me.
Yeah, a bit daunting. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for coming on the podcast. We're really looking forward to following you and seeing how it all goes. And like I said, it'd be great to maybe tee up a chat for after, and we can have a chat about how it all panned out.
Absolutely. I mean, it's 22 weeks, so we can always say hi halfway through and be like, if I make it through Queensland, then I'll be like, all right, it's smooth sailing from here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, and I'm sure it will be. It's those nerves just make you go through all the processes and make sure everything's 100%. So
yeah, absolutely, I couldn't agree more. But yeah, absolutely, thanks for having me. It's been really good to have a chat. You've got an incredible series of guests that have been on your podcasts, and yeah, I love listening to them, and I'm probably going to continue to listen to them while I'm out there and need someone.
Yes, true. You'll have lots of time to catch up on all the podcasts in the world, won't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All righty. Well, thanks so much for coming on, and we look forward to chatting with you again.
Thanks again.
Bye.